The history of income tax in India. 1. Introduction during British rule. The concept of income tax was first introduced in India by the British colonial administration in 1860, under the Income Tax Act of 1860. This act imposed a tax on income earned from British citizens and businesses operating in India. 2. Income Tax Act of 1886. The Income Tax Act of 1886 was enacted to consolidate and amend the laws relating to income tax in India. It introduced the concept of a direct tax on income earned by individuals and businesses. 3. Indian Income Tax Act of 1918. The Indian Income Tax Act of 1918 replaced the previous income tax laws and introduced significant changes to the tax structure. It expanded the scope of income tax to cover a wider range of income sources and introduced progressive tax rates based on income levels. 4. Independence and post-independence era. After India gained independence from British rule in 1947, the Indian government continued to levy income tax as a key source of revenue. The Income Tax Act of 1961, which came into effect on 1 April 1962, consolidated and amended the income tax laws in India. It established the framework for the modern income tax system in the country, including provisions for assessing, collecting, and administering income tax. 5. Progressive taxation. India's income tax system has generally followed a progressive taxation model, with higher tax rates imposed on higher levels of income. Over the years, successive governments have introduced various tax reforms, changes to tax rates, exemptions, deductions, and incentives to promote economic growth, encourage compliance, and address social and economic objectives. 6. Modernization and reforms. The Indian income tax system has undergone significant modernization and reforms in recent decades, including the introduction of electronic filing, online tax payment systems, and efforts to simplify tax laws and procedures. The government has also implemented measures to enhance tax administration, improve compliance, combat tax evasion and avoidance, and promote transparency and accountability in tax matters.